Hello again. As promised, I'm now back in the workshop, and I've just received delivery of two parcels, which I'm really pleased about. This little blue one, which I know what that is, and that's what I know what both of them are. But I just thought I'd share the opening of them with you. This one is going to be quite important for my electronics because it's a new multimeter, and I'll explain a bit more about that later. And this one is a vintage data recorder for my to go with my BBC. I've got a modified tape recorder which I use for the BBC just to record stuff on it, the old tape bits that we all are familiar with from days past. Of course, I fitted a solid state drive to my BBC which loads and saves instantly, but I just thought it would be nice to have my grandson actually suggested the idea that it would be nice to have a recorder which is more suitable for transferring tape data to and from the computer from the BBC. He also said that the one I've cobbled together may fail at any time, so I took his advice and ordered this off eBay. So let's go ahead and open it up. Always exciting when you get things from eBay. Right, here we go. Lots of paper. Can get rid of most of this, I think. Oh, what paper is it? It's the Saturday Review. March the 16th, 2019. Okay, well, let's put all that back. I do these crazy things. I don't know if when you're going shopping, you find somebody else's shopping list in a trolley and you think, shall I just buy what they were going to buy just to see what I'd end up with? No, I don't do that. It's rubbish. Just an idea. Anyway, I'm unpacking the thing now. Nicely wrapped. It's got cling film around it. Lots more paper underneath, so we'll get rid of all that. Oh, there's some leads as well. Let's check to see if there's anything else in there. No, nothing else in the box. I'll keep the box because it'd probably be quite handy. There's the leads, the cable. And now let's have a look at this. And there we are. That's lovely. It's an Ingersoll cassette recorder. Yeah, it looks in fairly good condition. Load level, monitor level, so you can monitor, power button, save and signal. So it shows exactly what's happening. And I believe that the cable, there's no data cable with it, but there is a mains cable with it, which is good. So yeah, that's lovely. I'll give you a little bit more of a close-up shot of it now. Well, there it is. I'm really pleased with that. Ingersoll computer program data recorder. So it's a purpose-built data recorder for computer data and not voice. That's excellent, and it looks in really good condition. The controls are what do we have? We have a counter, we have a reset, we have a monitor level control, record level and monitor level controls, and a power button. And coming over to this side, we have pause, stop and eject, forward, fast forward and rewind, and load and save. So actually all marked up exactly as we'd want for working with the BBC, well, any computer that uses that kind of save and load mechanism, the old Sinclairs for instance, and various other machines around that era. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that. So all we need to do now is to put it to the test, but that won't be in this video. It'll be when I go back down in the cellar and start working again on the BBC. But thank you, Oliver, for seeing this on eBay and sending me the link and encouraging me to buy it, and I'm really pleased. So thank you, that's great. Well, I did say I wouldn't set it up, but I needed to see if it worked properly, so I went down in the cellar, connected it up, and it works absolutely fine. It's even got a remote on it which the BBC stops and starts when you're recording and when you're loading the machine. So I've loaded a program, it works absolutely fine, very, very pleased with it. Let's get back to unpacking. Now let's move on to this package, and this is my what I believe to be my new multimeter. I have, you've probably seen from my other videos, a number of fairly old meters. This one is the oldest, and it's a Radio Shack machine. Had it a long time, done me good service, but it's getting a bit unreliable and a little bit tatty. So I needed something a bit better than that. And the cheap one I use for day-to-day measurements is this one, which is my I think I bought this in Lidl. I think it was about £12 or something. It was relatively inexpensive. It is a bit fussy because you have to change the test leads over from voltage to current and to resistance measurements every time you want to change ranges. Whereas this one, you only have to change these when you're doing milliamp measurements, so not so important. So let's have a look at this one. This is from Bamford, Unit 2, Hertfordshire Trading Estate, and it does all sorts of things like home, garden, leisure and tools. So let's open this one and see what we've got here. Again, this is a Draper meter. Wasn't hugely expensive. I think it was reduced from £49 to about 28, somewhere around there. But it looks a good meter. So it has a 200 series digital multimeter, backlight LCD, series 2. And 200 millivolts to 600 volts. AC is 200 volts to 600 volts. DC current 2 milliamps to 10 amps, and resistance from 200 ohms to 2 megohms. And it also has, there's a Wi-Fi link on there. I'm not quite sure what that's about yet, so let's have a look at it. So let's open it. Without doing too much damage to the box itself, in case it has to go back for any reason, one never knows. And yeah, it looks it's looking good. So let's open it and take it out its box. Set of test leads, comes with a PP9 battery, set of instructions, and the meter itself, which is quite neat, nice large display on it, and common milliamps and voltage and ohms all on the same connector, so that's quite good. I don't have to mess around with that. Does it have a stand on it? I don't think it does. I'm not sure whether it does or not. No, that's for the battery. Don't know if there's anything in here. That's just the test leads. Anyway, let's have a look to see what it says. So that's it. Let's put the battery in and get going with this. Like all these things, there's always a screw to take out to get at the batteries. There we go. Oh, what's the idea of that then? No idea. Oh, actually, I think there might be a stand for it, yeah. So let's put the battery in. Without slicing my own fingers open. Always undoing things is a nightmare, isn't it? Especially when it's something like a chocolate bar and you're just desperate to get into it. And you just can't because... oh, there we go. Let's get rid of that. So, negative and positive. I assume the battery's good before I put it in. Not very clearly marked here, which is what. So I'm going to have to get the light on that, I'm afraid. Right. That is one thing I would say that it's very, very poorly marked to see. So that's negative and that's positive, to see which way round it goes. But that's not very clear at all, but I can see the markings in there. So let's put that back and just test it before we... Well, it's lit up anyway, before we put the back on. Oh, and it's got a transistor tester on it. NPN, PNP, ECBE and E. Yeah, that's on there. And it has a backlight. Okay, let's put this battery back in. And yes, it does have a stand on it. I was pulling up the wrong end. So there we are. There's the Draper DMM 200 meter. I'll give you a little bit of a close-up of that so you can see that one. So there we have it. It's a fairly inexpensive but functional meter. It's handier than my other ones. It's quite a bit smaller, but the display is bigger, which is great. As I said, it's got the backlight on it should you need it. Now, quite often when you're in difficult places, you know, under the stairs or checking something inside a cabinet which is quite dark, the actual backlight will make a substantial difference. So I'm quite pleased with that, and quite pleased with the whole thing. So I'm going to be using it shortly because I'm going to be doing some... oh, it does go off on its own. Excellent. Okay, just enough to do the reading. And let me just check to see whether if you do that, and then I'll put it on continuity and do a test there, and then put that on hold, whether the backlight holds then. Anyway, pleased with that, and excellent meter. So turn it off. So quite pleased, and now put it to some use. So there we go. So that's my two purchases. I've got my my Ingersoll data recorder and my new Draper DMM 200 multimeter. That's really nice, and I'm quite pleased with that. Quite a nice morning, really. So now I've got to put them to use. Well, thank you for watching my silly little unpacking video, but I'm quite pleased with the things I've got. It's always nice to have new things, isn't it? My next video is going to go right back to my youth, it's before I start to do another radio restoration or an amplifier repair. I want to go back to some of these little devices which when I was quite small and fairly incapacitated because of medical issues in my feet and legs, I had a box of components including relays, and I used to play around with those, and things like 9-volt batteries and timers and various other things, way before the times of MOSFETs and triacs. And I used to assemble little circuits. And recently I've come across a whole box of these relays. So I thought, wouldn't it be nice just to build a little logic circuit or something with relays, and regress, if you like, back to a time when they did a good job, but back to a time when I was figuring things out with relays and lights and non-LED bulbs and things like that. So I think it might be interesting. It might be totally silly. I don't think it is going to be earth-shattering, but it might be nice to look at a couple of circuits I did and just go back in time for a little while before I move back again to the present day. So anyway, thank you for watching this video. It's been great to share this with you, and as always, take care.